In the book of Genesis there, we find the story that deals with Joseph. And at a point in the period of time, you know, the Lord he had done told stories and done this and done that. And now his brothers, they done whooped him up, beat him up, and done sold him. And he brought down to Egypt at the 39th chapter, book of Genesis. But I want to come to tell somebody today, don't look at the now, because there's a bigger picture. Amen? When you read this story now, instead of his life, you'll find out how he was mistreated. But you'll notice now, in all of his mistreating, and all the time that they was doing bad things to him, you find that God was with him. Yes. Amen? In the 39th chapter, book of Genesis, now you look at it there in the 21st verse, which we will cue in on in a minute or two. He said, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. Amen? No matter what you're going through, you can depend on God. Amen? No matter what it looked like, don't get caught up in what it looked like right now. Amen? Because see, God is going to take you somewhere. Amen? But when he takes you somewhere, you got to be prepared to land there. Amen? Amen. See, so it said, and Joseph was brought down to Egypt. Potiphar's office and Pharaoh's captain and the guard and the Egyptian. They brought him from the Ishmaelites. Amen. Notice the second verse now. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. Amen. Ebenezer, hear me now. It don't matter where you are, long as God is with you. It don't matter what's going on, long as God is with you. Amen. What messes us up is we go to focusing in on the condition that we're in. Keep your eyes on the Lord, because the Bible said the Lord was with Joseph. Amen. And his master saw that the Lord was with him. Amen. Now, we have been here earlier, instead in our Sunday school lesson, we notice now that in the early part of the Sunday school lesson in the book of Ezra, they was rebuilding the altar back. They was coming back, getting back in order to serve the Lord. That will have to be a day in your life that you say, I'm going to come to a point now, I'm going to get my life together now. I'm going on and get myself to the Lord, and to the Lord get myself together. Amen? And then you keep on reading, and Joseph found grace in the sight and served him. Amen? God have always shown us favor. God have always took care of us. God provided. God proved that he was faithful to keep even in the most impossible sounding promise. This faithfulness is the foundation of our trust, because God, we know he will keep his promise and save us in Jesus Christ. Amen? I don't care what's going on. Keep your eyes on God. God will take you somewhere. The Lord was with Joseph in prison and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph favorite with the prison ward. Amen? It's amazing how God, you somewhere, and look like everybody's against you. But as one person to speak up on your behalf, and that's it. Everything changed. Huh? You ain't did nothing. They don't like you now. They still don't like you. But God, amen? Amen. See, God got a way of making folk that don't like you just leave you alone. I can't do nothing to them. I can't hurt them. So I sure ain't going to help them. I'm going to just stay out their way. Amen? See, God is saying, now, I'm going to take Joseph somewhere. Because, see, something going to happen and y'all going to need somebody down the road to take care of you. See? And that somebody going to show up and take care of you. Amen? 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 And we need to understand that God can not only be at the airport with us. Amen? God not only be at the airport, drive us to the airport, but he's on the plane when we get on it. Amen. He's on the plane with us in the air. Amen. He's with us when the plane lands. Yes. He's with us when we go ride through the city scheme. He's still there with us. God got your back. Amen. He's taking us somewhere. Amen. Let's look at a bigger picture because 21, verse 21 says, now check it out now. The verse 21 says here now, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy. Amen. Genesis 20, 39 and 21 signifies God's continuous presence and blessing with Joseph. See, God just don't get you out to drop you. You know, we was doing pretty good up until this point. You need to look at what you were doing. Because God ain't dropped you. Things ain't just went south. Somebody did something. Amen? You read in the book of Joshua sometime, you'll see how God was just blessing them. Then all of a sudden, a little town named Ai whooped them and sent them back home. They had did some wrong. Amen? See, so God ain't taking you nowhere to drop you off. God is taking you somewhere for you to be a continuous blessing. Amen? Got a bigger picture here. Amen? Even in this difficult situation, despite being in prison for a false accusation, the Lord remained with him, showing him mercy and kindness and giving him favor in the eyes of the prison keeper. This verse emphasizes that God's blessings extend beyond prosperity and comfort, impacting us even the most challenging situation. No matter what the situation is, God can beat it. God can beat it. God can beat it. You ride down the road, you see your car, ball up, toe up, and you say, everybody dead. Don't nobody be dead. Why? Because God didn't want none of them dead. Look like everything is just going wrong. No. It's just right for God to show up in there. Amen. Amen. Just right. See, and the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph. Hand all to Joseph. Hand all of the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not at anything that was under his hand. In other words, when God bless you and give you something, you got something. I'm going to tell you, we're going to take you somewhere now. Just hold on. We'll take you somewhere. We get there the first Sunday in June now. Just remember this. And I'll be on it next Wednesday night. The phrase "the Lord was with Joseph" 39 highlights God's unwavering presence and support through Joseph's life. God just don't pick you up to drop you. Hear me now. God got you. God's presence through his life, even after being wrongly accused and in prison. God didn't leave him, didn't stop at the prison gate. God went on in prison with him. Hear me now. See, because trouble comes, that don't mean God doesn't quit. God wants to show you I can handle the trouble. Yes. He wants to show you it's a bigger picture here. Stop crying. Stop crying. Get the point, crying. Why? God is going to take you somewhere. This verse states that God showed him mercy, indicating God's compassion and care for Joseph in distress. The Hebrew word here, kindness, is chaste, often translated as loving kindness or steadfast love, signifying God. Amen? Signifying God's love and mercy. Amen? I come to tell you, don't go to doubting that God can't fill it up here. When God get ready to fill it up, he'll fill it up. Amen? But what we need to do, just keep doing what we're doing. Amen? See, a lot of times we want it too quick. Amen? This verse also mentioned that God gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison, meaning that Joseph was well regarded and trusted by the prison wall. Amen? See, God got a way of doing things we don't understand. We too quick to give up. Well, this done got rough, Pastor. I'm going to the house. Ain't nobody told you to go no house. It looked a little rough, Pastor, so we might as well just give up. Leading to a more comfortable and less restrictive prison life. Amen? It don't matter where you are, as long as God's with you. That's what's wrong with us. We don't believe that God be everywhere. Everywhere. Devil can't do nothing to you. Devil can't touch you unless God give permission. God blessing. He blessed him in hardship, favor in the prison, mercy and kindness here. God's presence. Amen. Blessing in the hardship. This passage illustrates that blessing from God can manifest in unexpected ways. We crying and hollering and crying. God got a way of blessing us. You might not like it. You might not like it. But you ask for the blessing. Amen. Some of your folk might have your blessing. Amen. Be careful what you ask for now. Be careful what you ask for now. Because when he bless, he doesn't bless. And that's it. Forget it. You got it. This passage illustrates that blessing from God can manifest unexpected ways, even in difficult circumstances. Joseph continued to succeed and trust within the prison, demonstrating that God's favor and blessing can be experienced regardless of one's situation. Back to the situation. Bad situation, preacher. I'm in a bad situation. I'm in a catch-22. I can't move to the right, can't go to the left, can't back up, can't come forward, but God got my back. Joseph's brothers whooped him, beat him, threw him down in a pit. They didn't like him talking about this dreamer. We don't like him. We're going to get rid of him. We're going to get rid of him. We're going to get rid of this dreamer. We're going to whip him. Put him down in a pit. Set him. Get rid of him. But God said, okay, go ahead. Go on whoop him. Go on beat him. Go on back and tell Daddy a lie that the goat killed him. Tore his coat up that his daddy had built him, made for him. Lied about everything. Be careful with your lie now. What old preacher said today, be careful with your lie. Because it's going to come up again. Amen? It's going to come up. Just stick around. It's going to come up. Amen? Mm-hmm. See, then we got to deal with his character. We're going to be up out of here just a few minutes. Amen? Just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. Amen? Mm-hmm. Joseph, character, emphasized the importance of integrity and loyalty to God. Even when faced with adversity, Joseph steadfast in the face of temptation led to his continuous blessing even in prison. Amen? Because somebody trying to be nice, act like they're trying to be nice and do something, don't let them interrupt your relationship with God. Don't allow that mess to mess up your relationship with God. Mm-hmm. Lord have mercy. This verse followed Joseph's imprisonment after being falsely accused by Miss Potiphar's wife despite unjustly imprisoned. God, blessing and favor continue to be with Joseph, demonstrating his faithfulness. That's what I want to tell you. You got to be faithful in all situations. I'm faithful. Can anybody count on you other than you? Can you count on yourself to be faithful? Amen. 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 One more, we out of here. Genesis here serves as a reminder that God's presence and blessing can be found even in the midst of challenging circumstances, and that God can work through even the most difficult situation to bring about good. Hold on, Ebenezer. Just hold on. God will bring about some good things if we hold on. If we just look back and look around, God has been good to us. If you just look around and think about where we was and what we was doing and how we was doing, God have always been there with us. God have always made a way for us. And God will continue to make a way for us. If we just hold on to God's unchanging hand. You got to make up in your mind, I'm going to hold on to God's unchanging hand. And then if you just, for a moment or two, if you just looked over there at Genesis 45, you'll see Joseph had to reveal his identity to his brother. He had to tell him, I'm your brother. That's what God will do for you. When you maintain your integrity. When you know that there's a bigger picture than the now. The now is just getting you ready for the future. And we all must get ready because this is the dressing up room that's down here. All the whooping and the beating that they did to Brother Joseph. They were just getting him ready for the 45th chapter in the book of Genesis where he said, I could not hold back no more. Where he told his brothers who he was. When he told his brothers, now y'all go on back home and bring daddy and the family on down. Now, and they gave them a portion of land over there in Goshen. And they lived there. It's a bigger picture than the now. It's a bigger picture than the now. Jesus died, rose again to give us a bigger picture. We must believe now that there's a bigger picture. It's a bigger picture than the now. I pray and I hope I said something today that'll make us look for the bigger picture than the now. You got to look beyond the now. Look beyond the now. Well, Pastor, it looks rough now. It's bad now. Don't look at it. God will carry you through. He'll carry you through. He'll carry you through. Jesus said, not my will, but thy will. And went on through. Made it possible for all of us to be saved. Amen. May God bless you. May God keep you. That's our word for the day. I'm just thankful to be here today. Amen. And all that thunder and rumbling went on last night, water falling. God kept us. Amen.